out, we got the C7 riding with us in the Mustang. Had these air fresheners made, and I just got them in about a week ago. They smell really good, and I sent some out to about 50 of my followers on Instagram for free as kind of a Christmas gift. But I do have some available for purchase if anyone is interested in one. Shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram link below here in the screen. That way you can click on it, and in the video info. It's JustinKeith_SCT. So hit me up on my Instagram account and I'll show you how you can get one of these C7 air fresheners. So today we are going to be putting a JLT cold air intake on the Mustang, putting E85 in it, and then Just Tune is going to put a tune on it, and we're going to try to get this car around 500 wheel horsepower. I don't think it's possible, but Justin thinks it is. So let's get started on this JLT cold air intake install. I'm sure you've probably all seen it done a million times, but 2018 JLT intake install. We did one on the Trackhawk on the last video. I feel like we're just doing basic bolt-on mods on the channel right now, but we have two brand new bone stock cars on the channel, so we are going to be building them from start to finish, and you guys are going to be along for the ride to watch all of it happen on Stangkilr Productions. So what you see right here, we got a all stock 2018 Mustang, 10-speed automatic car. I've had this car for a couple months. I've been pretty much daily driving it. It's been a very good car. I put the stock wheels back on it. Did do some spacers, which actually made it look real nice. Don't worry, the welds are sitting right over there in the corner of the garage next to Snow White. Alright, so right now we're going to install the JLT intake. I got all the stuff just kind of sitting out here. I just kind of open up the box. Looks like we got filter, intake tube, all that good stuff from JLT. Alright, got everything laid out from JLT. We got the intake tube, got the box, which is really nice. I honestly wish the cold air intake for the Trackhawk would have a box like this to keep all the heat away from the filter inlet. So that's nice. I'm going to look into the JLT intake for the Trackhawk next, because I really do like the way this is set up. Got the bellows, got the clamps, and it has directions with some pictures, which is actually very helpful. So let's get started on this JLT intake install. Well, we got the engine cover off, and man, I know why Ford puts that on there, because the engine bay is completely ugly in this car, so it covers up a lot of stuff. I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. But the dang thing does make power when you put boost to it, so you can't hate on it too much. But yes, Ford still continues to have probably one of the ugliest cluttered looking engine bays out of all the performance cars. I say Camaro, Mustang, and then the Challenger. One thing I did was took off this giant ass sound tube that goes from the intake into the car. So I took it out. They actually supply you with a cap, which you can see right down there if you look closely. It's right there. They supply you with that cap. Plugs a firewall with the hole where the hose used to go. Yeah, so Ford actually puts a tube from the intake to the inside of the car, so that way you can hear the motor a lot more with the hose attached from the intake to the inside of the car than you would without the tube. They call it a sound tube. It's pretty stupid if you ask me, but we took it out. We don't need that crap. It just clutters the engine bay. It's actually a lot of junk on that little tube, and it frees up a little bit of room in the engine bay, so I highly recommend removing that. Alright, got the box in, the cold air box. Make sure you slide the fresh air inlet tube on to the front up here. It's a little tricky to get this all in there. You got one screw right there holding it down. Take the grommet off the factory air box, put it in there, and then the rubber grommet, make sure that's in the car before you set that all in. Now all we need to do is put the new intake tube on, connect all the factory lines, and put the filter in, and we should be done. Alright, there you go. JLT intake is in. It was pretty easy. once you get the box in and the air tube slid on, it's all downhill from there. The intake tube bolts right on. Everything just clips right in the factory locations. You do have to rotate that fitting in the hose. It's super easy. You just spin it, get it to where your desired is, because as you put it on there in the factory location, it's not going to line up right. So you do have to rotate the fitting in that rubber hose there. Everything else just goes on. They even supplied you with a air dam deal here. You just slide on there. It makes it a complete airtight seal around there, so that way it stays cold in there. No engine heat gets in the box. Nice kit from JLT, and we'll have it on the dyno with some E85 in the tank here in the next few days. Alright guys, I didn't want to go into too much detail on installing this JLT intake. There's probably plenty of videos on YouTube to do it. I was just wanting to show you guys it is super easy to do. Start to finish, it was about 22 minutes, 23 minutes, somewhere in there. So really, really easy, really quick to do. And they give you all the instructions to do it. So props to JLT for making a great cold air intake solution for the new Mustang and the 2018-2019 Coyote engines. We're going to have this on the dyno at Just Tune, probably in the next few days on E85 and the intake, and we're going to see how much power it makes. Justin thinks it's going to make close to 500 to the tire. I don't know. I don't see it happening, but we will see. The car made, I believe it was 404 stock, so I can't see it picking up that much power, but who knows? He's done a lot of them, so we'll see what happens when we put it on the dyno at Just Tune, and you'll see it here in the video next. So we got the JLT cold air intake installed last night, and today we're on our way out to Just Tune, who, as you know, tunes my Corvette, tunes the ZL1. We're always out there videoing cars on the dyno. Justin is going to throw the Mustang on the dyno today, put a tune in it. We got a full tank of E85 in the car, the JLT intake. We're going to throw the car on the dyno, get it tuned, see what power numbers it makes, and then if it stops raining or if the streets are dry, we'll go out and see if it runs a little bit better on the street. But so far, just driving the car. I did put like a little startup tune in it, which we saw. We were doing that last night, loading the tune in. The car does drive with the JLT intake. You do have to tune the car with a JLT intake installed. It does not run unless it's got a tune in it, just so you guys know. These Fords, they have the onboard widebands in them. You can actually put E85 in a stock new Mustang, and it will drive. After you drive it for a little bit, the air fuel will kind of go to where it needs to, because it's commanding a certain air fuel in the computer. Now, I don't recommend throwing E85 in the car and just running the piss out of it and never tuning it. I don't recommend doing that, but it is okay to run E85 if you need to get to and from the dyno whenever you do get it tuned on E85. So we are legitimately going to tune this car. We're not using any Mustang company. We're not using Lund. We're not using Palm Beach Dyno. All the normal Mustang tuning companies. We are going to do this ourselves with HP tuners, and we're going to see how it goes. Justin tunes a lot of Fords already. He's already tuned some 2018 Mustangs. So we're going to see what happens with the intake and E85 here. And we'll be at the dyno here in just a few minutes. The deal back here at Just Tune, we got the Mustang on the dyno, getting ready to make the first pull in it right now. We're changing some stuff in the tune, getting ready for the E85 and the JLT intake that we installed last night. So Justin's in there getting everything ready. We'll be making a pull here real quick. Got Justin's new motor. It's in his Nova. He's going for the fastest hydraulic roller LS in the country, 8th mile. He's been 450s before. He's hoping to go a lot faster. He's got Texas Speed heads on it. Texas Speed just went through, redid all the motor on it for him. That is a LSX block hydraulic roller, and is going to make some serious power. Alright, we're getting ready to make some insane power with a Mustang. Not really, but we're going to try to make as much power as we can with the mods that are done to it. And who knows? We may have a runner here. I'm not don't hold your breath, but All right, well, according to the internet, this car should make like 900 horsepower with a cold air intake, E85 and tune. Sadly saying it made 430 on the first pull, which is a little off what the internet is saying it should make. It also says it should run 9s with just a couple bolt-ons. I don't think it's got the power to run 9s right now, but we are on track to maybe run a high 11. I think is probably a good spot to start. Justin, you think we're gonna make 500 horse today? No. Okay. The enthusiasm is there.
Oh yeah.
That's the best part about the new Mustang right there, that gauge cluster. I put the Holley LS Fest plate bracket hoping that it'd make it faster. Should. I made 448. It's pretty good for just some crappy E85 out of the pump, and a JLT cold air intake made 404 stock. So that's almost a 50 wheel horsepower gain just with a couple little bitty things you're doing to the new Mustangs. Hey Justin, does your printer work?
Yes.
Does your torque reading work on your dyno?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Alright, so it made 459 that time, and the torque isn't reading on the dyno, but it's a Mustang, it's a Coyote, so it probably made like 200 foot-pounds of torque, which is great, but we're real happy with the 459 number. Made 404 stock, and with the JLT cold air intake, took us about 25 minutes to install, and some pump E85 we put in at the tank, made another 50 horsepower to the tire, which is excellent for this Mustang. And according to the internet, it should run 9s with those mods, so we're on the right track here, and I think we have ourselves one of the fastest cars in the garage, for sure.